Okay, in the last video, we played the game pretty much with a quick start. Very simply, it's to give you the basics of the game. Roll dice, look at the action sheet, tells you what the reaction was, or the result of your roll was. Now in this video, we're going to move advance, and we're going to use some of the managerial choices. You've been dealing with chance, but now you do have some choices. And I'll try to play them in its natural situations, because we're going to pick up right where we left off in the last game. I think with the visiting team coming up in the top of the third, and as I look at my indicator, we're going to be moving to the ninth batter in the visiting team. So let's do it, right? Okay, we're going to pick up right where we left off. It's the top of the third inning. The home team is leading 1-0. And this time we're going to use some managerial options we have. And if you look at the visiting team, we're going to be starting with the bottom of the order. So many times I bring in a pinch hitter in the bottom of the order. So I'm going to do that here. Now here's how you do that. The first thing you do, we are the visiting team, and we're using our first pinch hitter, okay? So I'm gonna make sure we remember that, because there are only 3 pinch hitters and 3 relievers. So we're bringing up a pinch hitter. Now you turn on the back of the run tracker, and you go to pinch hitters. There are 3 of them between the red lines. This is the first one, the on-base guy. This is the spray hitter, and this is the power hitter. The only difference with pinch hitters, you only use 2 die, 2 white die. You don't use the red die. Very direct. So let's see what happens to the first hitter. He's in the bottom of the order, in the top of the third inning. And it is a 9. We go here 9, and the guy triples. The guy triples. So we bring him around. Boom, second base, big hit, the most thrilling hit in baseball, they say. Okay, so he did his job. We'll put the pinch hitter away, and now we move and roll, right? We move to the top of the order. Very different results from the bottom of the order. And we're going to put a guy up at bat. There's no outs, and there's a man on third. Okay, I moved the man from third. Okay, here we go. Move, I did. I moved on top of the order and roll. And we have a 4-4. So it's in that quadrant, and a 4-4. Top of the order is a big K, a strikeout. If he were in the middle of the order, it would have been a double. So we mark an out, 1 out, and he struck out, so we'll change him. Man on third. Okay, on a strikeout, the runners on base do not advance. You just mark the out and move to the next batter. Okay, now we're going to try something different here so I can introduce you to some of the choices that you have. One choice you have is a pickoff. You can do that 3 times in a game on any base. It's very hard to pick somebody off, but I'm going to mark it down that the home team tries a pickoff. Remember, they're on defense right now. You wouldn't put it on the visitor. They're at bat. You charge it against the home team. So you mark the pickoff. Now, pickoffs are very hard, obviously. They don't happen often in a game. There's only one way to pick that guy off third base. If you roll a 3. 7, no good. So that's done. You've marked it off. You're not going to try it again. You only have 2 more choices. Okay, before I roll on the next batter, I want to show you something on the action sheet. This area right here is triplets. We haven't had one yet in what we've been playing. But should it occur, I thought it should be a very special thing. So if you roll 3 2s, you get a double. 3 3s is a triple. 4 fours is a home run, 5-5 is a ground rule double. Now, what about 6-6? Well, 6-6 is actually shown in the 12. You'd go to 12-6, and that's an inside home run, inside the park home run for the entire batting order. So that's a kind of a little special thing. And we're going to do something special now with this batter. I don't think I would do it in a normal game, but since this is instructional and I'm trying to get as many elements in as possible, I'm going to bunt. I'm going to bunt with this guy. So look over on the action sheet and under the bunt. And there's no limit to how many bunts you can do in a game, as many as you want. So let's see what we get, and then I'll talk about what we didn't get. But I'm going to roll only 2 dice for bunting, and which I probably wouldn't do in a normal game, but I'm going to do it here so you can see it. So the rule is move and roll, but only roll with 2 dice. So let's see what we get. We get a 3. So between 2 and 5 is 3. So he did successfully bunt. And I'll move him to first. But what happened to the guy on third? Okay, in this case, 2 to 5 safe. See the run tracker, number 12, row 1. Number 12, we're treating it as a Texas single. And the man on third tries to advance. So he's done the man on third under what they tell you to do for bunt in what we rolled is this row, 12-1. See, go to run tracker 12-1. And 12-1 is a try to advance. This is good. So here's a man on third. He's gonna try to advance, and you only use 2 dice here. 2 to 6, he's safe. 7 to 12, he's out. So here he comes. It's Jackie Robinson coming home. And it is a 6. He is safe at home. So the bunt worked. The sacrifice bunt worked. He scored. So let's put a run up here, just a dot, just to keep track of it. So theoretically, this is the one who scored, so we'll put him back and we'll bring in the next batter. And we're back to 3 dice. Man on first, and there's only 1 out. And I'm going to make a managerial choice, but first I want to try to pick the guy off first. Why not? I have 2 left in the game. I know it's early, but I'm just feeling lucky. So, no way. That's no good. But I got to mark that I have used my second pickoff. Okay, I'm going to do another managerial choice here. I'm going to bring in a reliever. And you get 3 choices, and they have to be in this order. Pinch hitters can be in any order you want them, but relievers have to follow this. Middle reliever, setup man, and the closer. So this is my first reliever, so I have to mark him off. He's a home team reliever, and I'm going to mark him off. So I'm using 1 reliever of 3. 2 dice, and I'm going to move, then roll. So it's my 5th batter, middle of the order, and it's a 7, and it's a strikeout. Now, normally that would be some kind of a hit on the other side of this card, but relievers are harder to hit. So that is a strikeout and the 3rd out of the inning. So there was 1 run scored here in the top of the 3rd, and the score is tie 1-1. So the visiting team goes out in the field, and we're going to bring our home team up for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Now we're in managerial and special things. We've done pickoffs. We've done a reliever. We've done a pinch hitter in the last inning. Moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning, the home team is up. And as I look at my markers, move, then roll. So the bottom of the order, the 9th hitter is up. using 3 die, no outs, nobody on, 6, and normally I don't do this when I play, I leave them there, but I'm doing it here for you to see, 6, and the red is 3. So we've got a 6-3, we're in this quadrant, and the third batter, and the bottom of the order, the third on the red die, so it's a line out to 6. So that's an out. So that's an out for the home team in the bottom of the third. There's 1 out. Now, we'll go to the next batter. We'll bring in, he goes to the dugout, we'll bring him in. Okay. Now, my rule, move and roll. So I'm moving, it's going to be the top of the order. This guy is in the top of the order. And I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to bring in another reliever. And remember the middle reliever, the setup, and the closer. So I have to mark it. The visiting team is bringing in another, the first reliever for the visiting team, really, the middle reliever. 2 dice. And here we go, top of the order. Although it doesn't matter in the relievers sheets, but that's just to know. 6, and 6 is a ground out. Okay, so he grounds out. So we go to the home team, and that's the second out. And don't forget, don't forget, this is the first time I'm saying it, so you need to remember, the reliever now stays in for the remainder of that inning. We don't go back to another pitcher. The reliever is still there. So we have 2 outs and nobody on base, and we're going to move and roll. So we move to the second batter for the home team in the bottom of the third inning, 2 outs, and he's facing the first reliever, who's a middle reliever, 2 dice, and it's an 8, and that is a single. So he moves to first against that reliever. And remember, it's the same reliever now, move and roll. So I now move to the third batter, and the roll comes up. You know what? I was thinking of stealing here. I might steal. I got a man on first. Let's see, turn over to the action sheet and look at steal a base. From first are these numbers, from second, and of course from third is the hardest. Only a 2 is safe. But I'm stealing from first base. There are 2 outs, but I think I can steal on this guy. So that's, the home team is going to steal. They have another one left, 2 dice, and we'll see what happens. It's an 8, and it's safe. So he is safe at second. Outstanding. Now I had moved the batting order, so we're the third batter here. And there are 2 outs, bottom of the third, and we're back on the action sheet. Or the reliever, with the reliever, because he remains in the game. Now, if I brought in a pinch hitter here, there's a special arrangement for that, but I'm going to save that for the next inning. Let's do the reliever here. He's the first reliever. Whoops. 4, and that is a flyout. So that's the third out. And no runs, a man left on second. And I put him back in the dugout, these 2 from the home team, and I'm ready to start with my visitors in the top of the 4th inning. Okay, well, just to review, the home team used 1 reliever, tried 2 pickoffs and a steal. The visitors used 1 reliever and they used 1 pinch hitter. Yeah. So we'll go back to 3 dice, go back to the action sheet, and move and roll. So my visiting team is now the 6th batter. He's in the middle of the order. 6-3. Let me move the 6 and the 3. In the middle of the order, it's a line out to the shortstop. So that's 1 out. 1 out for the visitor. And if you want to, you can change your batter. So now it's move and roll. 7 is the bottom of the order. 1 out, nobody on. And we get a 6-5. A 6-5 is there's nobody on base, so it's a pop-up to the third baseman. PU 5. That's the second out. You see how fast the innings can move? I've had games that are 11-7, and I've had games that are scoreless going into the 8th inning. Anything can happen. Okay, move and roll. So we are the visitors. We're now still in the bottom of the order, the 8th batter. And it's an 8-1, 8-1. Bottom of the order is a ground out to the pitcher, a comebacker. That ends that inning. You see how quick it can be. So let's go right to the bottom of the 4th inning. Put these guys back in the dugout, put a man at the plate, and I can see here that the last batter to end the previous inning was the 3rd. So it is move and roll. Action sheet. 7 is good, and 3, middle of the order, is a line single. So he goes down to first. Up comes the next batter. Let's see, what have we done? We've done pickoffs, we've done steals. We could bring in another reliever, a pinch hitter. Let's see, well, he's in the middle of the order. He should do okay. And there are no outs, man on first. So let's do move and roll. So we got 7 and 4. The 7 grouping, the 4 row, middle of the order is a ground out to 4. But let's see what happens to the man on first. This could be a double play or a fielder's choice. We don't know. It was a ground out to the second baseman, right? So we go to the run tracker, ground out to the second. Here it is, folks. A 7-4 is a double play. You see, 7-4, ground out to 4, man on first, double play, 4-6-3. So this guy is out, this guy is safe, so he goes to the dugout, and we give the home team an out. So 1 out. I'm glad we saw that double play. 2 outs. Yeah. So nobody's on. So that's a good thing that happened. That's the first time that happened on this video. Okay, so here comes the next batter. That surely was a rally killer, that double play. But I think I'm going to move and roll, but I'm going to bring in a pinch hitter. Believe it or not, the home team is going to bring in their first pinch hitter. I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to see what he can do. But wait a minute, I'm the visiting team. They're going to bring in a reliever to stop the pinch hitter. Okay, so now he goes to his setup guy. The visitor comes with their setup guy. Now we have a reliever against a pinch hitter. And what happens? You don't use either one. You go back to the action sheet when a reliever faces a pinch hitter. And you use the middle of the order, regardless of where the marker is. In this case, it is in the middle, but no, it's not, because I have to move it. Did I move it? Yes. I moved it already. So, but the rule is when a pinch hitter faces a reliever, you go to the action sheet and look in the middle column. So it's coincidental that it is in the middle, but if it were down here, you'd still go middle. If it's here, you go middle. when a pinch hitter faces a reliever and you throw 3 dice, because it's kind of a standoff. Okay, 4, 5. Middle of the order, it's a ground out to the second baseman. There's nobody on, it's an inning killer. It is over. The bottom of the 4th, no runs in. So he'd go back to the dugout, you'd leave this in its position for the next inning, and we know where we are here. We bring up a visiting team player. So that is essentially, it's 4 innings. We've seen a lot of good things. I forced some things, but with pinch hitters, relievers, steals, pickoffs. But that is it. The double, the roll, the move and the roll. You move the batting order, you roll, you look on the action sheet. And there are 66 possibilities here because there are 11 whites and 6 in each one. So 6 times 11 is 66. Then, if you times 3 for the batting order, you get 198 possibilities with every at-bat. And they're very close to actual baseball. In other words, these numbers are calibrated. Oh, you know what we didn't have? We didn't have a walk in the whole game. All 10s are walks. So no matter what the red is, if it's a 10 in the white, it's a walk. And these numbers have been calibrated so that walks in a game come very, very close to major league numbers, average team per game. And that's the joy of 3-9 baseball, that it's very close to actual baseball. Okay, we've played 4 innings. The first 2 innings were without managerial choices. They were all chance. 1 roll, 1 event at home plate. And we basically played the quick start guide. You do that and you're into it, you're playing. The second 2 innings, we played with a lot of choices by a manager, relievers, pinch hitters, stealing, bunting, but we didn't get to everything. And you just read the book and eventually everything will happen for you as you play the game. Very close to real baseball, and that's why we think you'll enjoy it.